So, good morning, champions. How are we doing today? All right, good morning. So, let's kick up immediately. We're already behind schedule, all right, and we're starting this quite late, and I apologize for that. I don't know, is it that the voice scarcity is coming up again or something? It's like it's coming up, right? It's creeping up. Okay, and this whole place is blocked. And well, that's by the way. Let's start immediately. Now, today's session, before we start, of course, let's commit our session to God Almighty. We pray that everything we'll be talking about here, that we'll get the best out of it, and we're guided right. I encourage every single one of us to pay careful attention, because this is one very powerful kind of training, which I think a lot of us really need to bring into perspective. Very, very, very important. And what's the topic? What did we write as the topic? The topic. I think we announced it on the platform, right? Please, can anybody read the topic for me? Yeah, the topic says, confirming your success with the most critical level of understanding. And there are things, please, those on Zoom, write yes if you can hear me. Be sure we're together. Just write yes if you can hear me. Okay. Now, success in any, you see, a lot of people want to be successful. Everybody join the business, everybody starts one or more endeavor, especially in this business. You want to become successful. It's one thing to want to become successful, it's another thing to actually become successful. Okay, thank you very much, those on Zoom. Pay careful attention. I encourage you, if you're in a place where you know, you're going to get some distractions, you may want to consider avoiding it. You know, just try to get a very good place where you can concentrate. If you're with your pen and paper, that's beautiful. Please, I beg you, don't come to Super Leadership Monday empty-handed. It's not good for you, okay? Come with your pen and paper, because there's always a lot. You can't take all the information most times, all right, in, you know, just like that. It's sometimes we have a lot of information we're passing out, and you really need to pen down something sometimes, okay? But meanwhile, if you didn't come with a pen and a paper, you are pardoned for today, okay? Is that okay? Yes. How many of us have pen and paper? Please just raise it up. Let me see, please. No, if you have a pen, raise your pen up. The pen. Oh, wow, we're the majority. Okay, that's okay. That's great. Okay. So what you're going to be learning today is one very important thing when it comes to success. I won't ask a question, how many of you want to be successful? Because, I mean, it's a rhetorical one. Everybody wants to become successful. All right. That is it. That's why I wrote there. I said, if succeeding in this business means anything to you, then you don't want to miss a session like this, because it's very important. Success has conditions. Success has you know, their principles. And I want to mention this, and I want you to write it down. Very, very, very critical. There is no secret to success. Write it. There is no secret. I'll start off in that way. There is no secret to success. Because sometimes some people are tempted to think, wow, when you see a lot of people succeeding in various endeavors, especially in network marketing, in this business, the next thing is that there's something they are doing. It's like there's something, all these people, they are not telling you, you are just following them. They are just following them. You see them buying white cars, they are doing all this, they are traveling. They are not telling you what they are. There's something behind it, except you belong. That's what people told me. They said, except I belong. In fact, some of them actually told me that my mentor was a cultist, that those people, don't you see all the time, there's one thing they wear in their neck. In fact, there's even this one, they always want bead. I saw him, I went to the presentation, he was wearing a bead on his hand. I don't know what the other cultists wear bead, I don't know. That there's something secret. You will even if you join, you just be struggling. You can't make anything, because except if you belong, if they initiate you, then they will not teach you the correct thing, they will not give you the secret, then you will not make it. Have you written it? What did you write? In any endeavor, there is no secret to success. There is only a system to it. Please put that down. There's no secret to success, there's just a system to success. And of course, there's a system, and it goes by principle, of course. So there's a system to success. It goes by principle, and that's the reason why, especially, let's limit it. Let's not go too broad. Let's limit it so that, of course, arguably, I'm saying this arguably, but if I'm to limit it, especially to financial issues, then it's inarguable. Everybody understands it. Any wealthy man understands that it's a principle. And that's the reason why if you check it very well, wealth creation does not even answer to your religion. Hello? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not about how much you just pray and and all that. The truth about it is this: prayer is very, very important. Just like we started off with prayer, it's your belief. You believe in God, and prayer can give you direction, revolution, can facilitate the track for you. But there's one thing: prayer will not make money fall from heaven. I don't know. I've seen people who said that after the prayer there was a bag of money on the ground. It's not true. That's the truth. In my own belief, it's not true. There's a principle, okay? When it comes to wealth building, there's a principle. That is it. So there's no secret to it. There's a system to it. And that's the reason why when a Buddhist, I'm not talking about a Christian and a Muslim. I think predominantly we are Christians and Muslims here, right? Good. This is Nigeria. When a Buddhist, when a Shintoist, when even an idol worshiper, name it anyhow. Pharaoh in the Bible is called Pharaoh, right? Was he a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist? Which one was he? He was not, Abi. He was even claiming God on his own. Was he rich or not? He was super wealthy. He was even a king. Did you get what I'm saying? Was Nimrod, was he rich or not? Okay. Was he a Muslim? Was he a Christian? No, the idea behind it is wealth creation will not answer to, I don't know what, Karun. You know Karun, right? I've forgotten his name in the Bible. I've forgotten his biblical name. Huh? No, not Pharaoh. Not Pharaoh. Karun was a wealthy man during the time of Prophet Moses. In fact, he was poor, but he prayed and, and he was given the revolution and guidance, and he built massive wealth. But he acclaimed everything to himself and got destroyed at the end of the day. Maybe you can remember the story. And you tell me his name biblically. No, not Job. Job is Ayub. I know Job. Job was a prophet. He was tested. His name is Karun. He existed during the time of Prophet Moses. I've forgotten his biblical name. But that's by the way. Now, these guys are wealthy. These guys are super rich. And name it all over the world today. You're going to see a lot of people who are wealthy. In fact, some of the wealthiest countries, check it very well. They're not really maybe the Christian countries, the Muslim countries per se. Of course, we have wealthy ones among them. But you're going to see like China, some of the world leading economies, like China and all that. So what is the point here? There is no secret to success. There is a what to it. What is attached to it? System. It operates by principle. Money is good. Wealth is beautiful, especially when you use it correctly. All right. It's one thing to have money, it's another thing to use it correctly. All right. Now, the idea here is not about what you do with the money. We're talking about, first of all, making the money. What you do with the money, it's up to you, all right? We're not going to teach you at the beginning what you do with your money, but we're going to teach you how you make the money, all right? How you become successful in your business and everything. Now, why am I giving you this? A lot of people start this business, but they will never succeed in it eventually. And sometimes we wonder what is happening. Why are people not succeeding? Sometimes. Not just this business, many endeavors, and you're getting worried. I mean, in fact, some of you are worried. You see some of your team members, or sometimes you are in the business, you yourself, you've been in the business for a while, maybe a year, 2 years, and it's like you are still not making progress. And some people just started the business. Some of you attended the retreat. You saw someone who within 6 months, for example, was already not just a leader, but was already in the 2 Comma Club, was already even raising multi-millionaire within the space of less than 6 months in the business. And I've been in the business for years. How come it's not happening? What is the problem? All right. Now, that's what we're going to be talking about today and what you need to do. And trust me, it's going to be an interesting one. All right. That's why I told you, understanding, the most critical principle, having the most critical understanding that is the side for success. That's what we're going to be talking today. Now, I'm going to be drawing reference, even though, like I said, wealth creation does not care about your religion, I say, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, but trust me, there are amazing biblical principles, Quranic principles. I'm able to take this call. Doctor? So you are one of those that came late. We usually shock people outside when they come late, but I'll give you permission. Come in, please open the gate for me. Let him come in, okay? All right. I have a reason for permitting him. At the end of the session, you would know, okay? Yes, you would know. As a leader, sometimes you feel infamous. That is it. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. Now, there are amazing principles. Hello. Now, that's why some of the, now let me put this, and please permit me, I'm going to be a little religious with this session. I'm going to be a little religious, spiritual, both. All right, as far as the session is concerned. That's one of the ways I can get you deep, I can get deep into you. You know, in Nigeria, we're very religious people. I hope you know that. Nigeria is one of the most religious countries in the world. If you want to get Nigeria, one of the easiest ways to get us is through religion. That's why when the politicians are coming and they want to achieve their aim, you know, one of the ways they get it, did you observe? Yeah, you just politicize the whole thing. The two will just look like Muslims and Christians and all that. That's the most stupid thing ever. What's that? Did you get what I'm saying? But it's a good thing. It's a principle that if you want to get Nigerians, it's one amazing way you can easily get them. If you can emotionalize them with religion, it's easier. Yeah, you can achieve a lot. That's the truth. I'm saying whether you're a Christian or Muslim is the truth. Hello, how many of you agree with me? Yes. It's the pure truth. It's the pure truth. You achieve more with them. So I'm going to be kind of more religious. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be as so religious with the Islamic principle, but rather the biblical principle. For those of you who know me, you know I'm a student of comparative religion. So it will shock you to know some of you that some of the Christians, I'm sorry to tell you this, I think I know your Bible more than you. How many of you agree with that? All right. I know some of my Christian friends will challenge me. They'll say, Doctor, you know the Bible, you know all the verses you can quote, you know all these things, you've read the Bible, but you don't have the Holy Spirit. Yes, no problem. But we don't need the Holy Spirit here. Why are you laughing? That's what they tell me. They said that, yeah, you understand the whole thing, you can analyze and all that, but you can't understand deeply because you don't understand, you don't have the Holy Spirit. But don't worry, for this one, all right, we're drawing a principle out, all right? We're not going to engage the Holy Spirit in this one. We'll engage the principle. And trust me, that's on a lighter note, but trust me, there are amazing principles, all right? Amazing spiritual principles that connect to the physical realm, and through which when you apply this principle, biblical principles, Quranic principles, religious principles, all right? And these principles are amazing, even when it comes to wealth building, if you are to apply them. That's it. All right. And one of the basic principles we're going to be talking about today is a very, very popular principle for success. I've seen even some of my, Christian, friends, they, do a lot of it. I've seen Dr. Miles Moron, it's one very, very good, TD Jakes and the rest of them. They talk about all these things and it's amazing. All right. But the principle we're going to be talking today, please, for those of you that are Muslims, you're going to pay me specially for this one because I'm educating you specially, all right? So that you can know something outside your religion. So I'll share my screen. I don't know what's happening to Zoom. I'm not seeing this screen share. I'm not seeing those stuff, but I'll just share screen directly, right? And then, okay. All right, please, those on Zoom, please confirm to me if the screen is being shared. Just write 1 on the chat box. Let me be sure that the screen is being shared. All right. This is a very, very critical biblical principle or a story, all right, a parable precisely in the Bible, which is very, very important. Is there anybody here log into Zoom? I want to be sure that those on Zoom can see. Okay, good. They can all see. Good. So let's move on. Now, the principle we're going to be applying today is to tell you now, I want you to look at it very well. If you're not succeeding in this business, trust me, you are caught in this parable. If you've ever tried network marketing, you started this business, or you have any of your team members who started the business and quit, or sometimes some don't even start, or they start, do very well, and eventually quit, trust me, you're going to find them in this parable, because this is a parable, one of the most amazing parable in the Christian book, which is the Bible, that gives a clear-cut principle of what it takes to succeed, all right? And it's called the parable of what? The parable of the sower. Please, how many Christians know about this parable? Please, if you're a Christian, you know about the parable. Please be sincere, because if you tell me you know about it, you'll come out and explain it to us. Yeah, that's the condition. If you know you're a Christian and you know about this parable, please raise your hand. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody, I know it. All right. So let's move on. Now, it's the parable of the sower. One of the leaders of this organization designed the slide. All right, and you can see his name there, and I'm referencing him in person of Sower. And I saw his slide and I saw it something very amazing. I did some editing and I really appreciate what he did. And I'm acknowledging him for this good work. So I did some editing and some fine touch to it just to suit the purpose of what we're going to be doing. All right. So it's good I make reference to him so that we're not just plagiarizing, but we're benefiting from the good work he has done. Now, the idea here is the parable of the sower. When you start, everybody here, if you apply this principle of the sower, you become successful. Be it by God's grace, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, you become, even whether you're a Buddhist, whatever you are, if you apply this principle, you become successful. That's one thing I can guarantee you, because it's a typical representative of what it takes to become successful. All right. Now, what is the idea here? Can anybody tell me? I've read a couple of books, and it's always, there are 3 principles everybody in network marketing will always tell you, even though it is also peculiar to other people. Let's limit ourselves to network marketing. There are 3 things when you have them in network marketing, you can succeed. 3 things. Once you have them in network marketing, trust me, there's nothing stopping you. The only reason why people don't succeed, check them, they lack one of these 3 things. Number 1, please write it, 3 prerequisites for success in network marketing. It's not grammar. Prerequisite. What's prerequisite? Prerequisite is like a must have, a must fulfill the obligation, something like that. All right. 3 prerequisite, 3, must have for you to succeed in network marketing. If you don't have this, forget about success. That's the truth. Number 1 is you must be coachable. You must be coachable. You must be coachable. I'll take that for number 2. Please write number 2, or just write number 2. Then the next one, write number 1. Number 1 is you must be enthusiastic or ambitious. Yeah. You must be enthusiastic, ambitious. I think it's better. Let me not assume everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? You know what I mean by enthusiastic, ambitious? You must have a white, hot, burning desire. That kind of desire that is unquenchable to succeed. Meaning you must be willing. That's the reason why, even if I'm successful in this business, I can't make my child automatically successful. That's it. He must have that willingness to succeed in this same field. All right. So you must have that burning desire. That means you must be enthusiastic. You must have that ambition, and then you must be coachable. That's number 1, number 2, right? Then number 3, you must be ready to put in the work, the positive work, because there are 2 different types of work: the positive and the negative work. Okay. And you'll be ready to put in the work. And once you have these 3 things, trust me, those are just what it takes. Check anybody that has succeeded and check anybody that is not succeeding. You'll find one of these lacking. All right. Once you have that ambition, you have made up your mind that, look, success is a must. We saw one of our partners celebrated his car last night, right? How many of you saw that? You saw that on the platform, right? Yes. In fact, the guy started off very roughly. Is that correct? Someone that after starting the business, his upline abandoned him. I've seen a lot of people complain, oh, my upline abandoned me. That's why I can't succeed. My upline didn't try for me. In fact, they complain about their upline. This guy, no upline, no guidance, nothing. He just started off, was just struggling. But there's one thing that helped him. He was so ambitious. He made up his mind. In fact, he made up his mind that he would never even complain. In the process of struggling and striving and tussling and toiling and everything, that was when the mastermind noticed him and picked him up personally to mentor him. And eventually he became successful. We just celebrated this guy. He's an unstoppable leader for your information. He's a U leader. And guess what? If you know him, this is someone that was working in a place where most people would desire to work. Was working in Globacom, telecommunication, and was earning very, very stupidly. Very high. That's what I mean. And he dumped the job for this business eventually. And today he just launched his Benz. So if there's one thing I could discover in his story, was he was very, very ambitious and was very coachable, isn't it? He was ambitious, he was coachable, and he put in the work. That is it. And of course, you need to also wait for your time, you need to be patient and all that. But there are these are the 3 things. So once you have these 3 things, then it means you're a sower. Then it means you're someone, you're a candidate for success. All you just need to do is wait for your time, and it will definitely come. All right. Now, that's what it takes to be a sower. For many of us, we are not sowers. Have we mentioned severally? I've talked about it in the last training when we talk about activities. You can make reference to that training. I've done 2 of its type, 2 versions of it. Activities in the field that makes you a 7-figure income earner. I've also done activities, JTQ activities in the field, right? These are two versions, almost similar trainings, but two different versions of it. I've done this. And you always realize that I've mentioned something there, that there are three categories of people with regards to activity. There's the what? The posers, all right? The amateurs, who are the hunters, all right? You can be a hunter in this business, but the first two don't succeed. The third one are the ones that have any chance for success, and they are who? Those who farm. They are the sowers. They are the sowers. And who are the sowers? For you to be a sower, it means you must meet this criteria. So you need to check yourself. Are you ambitious? Is success in this business, does it matter to you? Are you really that person that, look, this business, I've seen people making it, and I've made up my mind, I must make it. Somebody said the slide is not moving. Don't worry, we've not started moving the slide, okay? When I start moving, I'll tell you, okay? I must make it in this business. In fact, for me, success is not negotiable, all right? I must become successful. I have lives to change. I must do this, I must do this. Ambition, enthusiasm. Guess what? Coachability, meaning for you to be coachable, you must be humble to learn. A lot of people fail out of this business. Is it this small boy or this small girl? They're not coachable. I know all these things. I know all these things. If you knew it, you should have been successful. In fact, you should be the one coaching. All right. Then the third one is putting in the work, the required work. Once you have these three things, then you can call yourself a sower. So I'm assuming here that we're all sowers. Can I assume that? Yes. You know, some of us are like, so does this mean? Now, when I do trainings, this is what I always tell you: put yourself in the picture. If you know anywhere you are lacking, fix it. All right. Your response, what you do, take a responsibility upon yourself. Find an area where you know you are missing it and fill the block. That's the essence of training. All right, so let's talk about the sower. So those on Zoom that said the slide is not moving, is it moving now? Please let me know. Has it moved? Let me know if it has moved. Someone wrote the slide is not moving. Okay, good. All right. So it means therefore you are a what? You are a sower. And when you look at the sower in the Bible, there was something very, very striking about him. All right. Now, who made that parable in the Bible? Can anybody tell me? Who are those that say they know about the story? Please raise your hand. Who made the parable? What's the name of the person that made the parable? Who made the parable? Oh, good. Beautiful. Please, a round of applause for him, please. Yes. You know why I say should clap for him? Not all Christians know. Some of them don't read their Bible. That's the truth. It's the truth. I'm serious. I'm serious. That's it. Okay. So Jesus Christ himself made this parable. All right. There are a couple of verses there about, several places in the Bible. I think in the book of Mark chapter 4, it's there. Even in the book of Matthew, chapter 13. Yeah, it's in 3 places, not just Matthew. In Quran, there's also mutashabihat. Yes. Yeah. You have it too in the Bible, okay? That's it. Similar places, similar stories in different places in the Bible. It's in Matthew, I think, from chapter 13, downwards. It's in Mark chapter 4 downward. It's even in Luke, the book of Luke, I think chapter 8 downward. All right, so we have them in about 3 places that I know in the Bible, maybe more, I don't know, but I think I know these 3 places. Pardon? Are you laughing? Are you surprised? Okay, good. So the idea behind it is this: Jesus gave the parable of the sower. Jesus Christ was preaching. I think it's better we draw the reference from the Bible, okay? I think it's better we read it. But we're going to learn 2 things from this one. Jesus Christ was preaching. Does anybody have a Bible there? Let's use. Where's my pastor? Pastor, here's the Bible. Please, a round of applause for him. This man is always going around with the Bible. All right. So, okay, Pastor, so you're going to open to us the book of. Let's use, like I said, there are 3 different places. Let's use the one in Mark 4. Okay, let's open the book of Mark. All right, and let's use the one in the book of Mark. Okay, there's Matthew, there's Mark, there's Luke. All these are okay. Most of you know about the one in Matthew, right? Are you sure? They're all elaborate. Okay, you want us to use the one? Okay, let's use the one in Matthew. Okay, so open the book of Matthew. Okay. What's the name, brother? Huh? Mr. Edward, right? Okay, okay. But they are all the same thing. It's the same thing. The message is the same. All right. But let's talk about it. Okay. So which one are you? Okay, I know something. You want us to use the one in Matthew because maybe that's the one you are used to. Let me use the one you are not used to. Open to the book of Mark, chapter 4. Okay. Okay, open it up. Let's study. Someone else can open to the book of Matthew, and we're going to do comparison. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just the difference of wordings, okay? But it's the same thing. So if another person have a Bible, you can open that of Matthew, and we'll make comparison. Okay. Are we set? Yeah. All right. So please read it out. Oh, please, can I have it? Okay, let me have it. Which one are you open? Okay, the book of Matthew, right? So can I read it out, right? Can I read it out? Okay, so let me read that of Matthew. So the pastor, please permit me. Let me read that of Matthew. And when you read from the book of Matthew, I think that's chapter 13. Yes, from the book from chapter 13. Now it goes on. There's so many stories. So Jesus was preaching the gospel. He was preaching. He was preaching the message. All right, the message he was sent with. Right, that is it. So, and at some point in time when he was preaching, and a great multitude on the same day when Jesus sat in the house and by the sea, and of course great multitudes were gathered to him. So he got on the boat and said, "Are we together? Please, we're together. Say hi." Hi. Now he got on the boat and sat rather, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. All right, was sitting on the boat at the edge of the sea and at the edge of the river, and the multitude were sitting on the land at the seashore. Right. Then he spoke with many things, but he was speaking in parables, and he was saying this. He said, my eyes are, I don't know, can I see very well? Behold, please, it's like, can you see very well? Please be the one to read it for me then, because the writings are tiny.
I speak many things. The parable was said, behold, the sower went out to sow.
He said, behold, the sower went out to sow. Okay, go ahead. But please, I want this. Why I want to read it myself, I want to capture the audio here. Let me struggle. Please give me a bigger one, please. I want to capture the audio. I want people on Zoom to hear it, okay? If not, I would have told. No, please open it. Give me this one. Let me be using this one. Okay. Why are you laughing? I'll strain my eyes, but I'll try to read it. Now he said, behold, please, I'm doing this for the sake of those on Zoom. All right. If not, you'd have just read it from the hall. So he said, behold, a sower went out to sow. A sower went out to do what? That a sower went out to sow. But please, we're not just going to be talking about, we're looking at the principle here, how it applies to your success here. All right. So we might not be too spiritual with it. All right. A sower went out to sow. Okay, just keep it here for me. Thank you very much. This is bigger. And I think. Good. No. Where you open this? Matthew chapter what? Okay, good. Thank you very much. So he said, behold, a sower went out to sow. And when he sowed, hello, please pay attention. Please listen very well. This is very, very important. He said, behold, a sower went out to sow. And when he sowed some seeds. So this is a man who went to sow. The beautiful thing about the story is the sower himself was not the center of the message per se. Please take note. They didn't talk much about the sower, but I'm going to draw out some things that are peculiar to the sower. So the sower went out to sow. This is someone who's a farmer, went out to sow. And guess what? When he was sowing, he said some seeds fell on the wayside. And this is one thing I want to tell some people who might not really get it well. Some people think, oh, it's not like he was walking. He said some seeds fell on the wayside. Maybe like he was walking and then the seed, maybe there was a hole in the bag. No, it was part of the sowing process. Hello? Understand it. Because some people will say, okay, he was walking, some seed fell on the ground. No. He went out to sow, but some seed fell by the wayside. It was part of the sowing process. And guess what happened? The fowls, Jesus is speaking in parable. He said when he was sowing, some seed fell on the roadside, on the way path, and the fowl, the birds, came and what? And ate it up and devoured it up, right? Some of the seeds fell where? On stony ground, on stony places, where they had not much earth. Meaning there is more rocky, some little sand, but no much of sand, no much of soil. And forthwith they sprung up. So what it means, this one was growing up. It started growing, right? They sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. All right? They sprung up And guess what? Because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, by the time the sun, that's verse 6, it said when the sun was up, by the time the sun came up, these plants were growing, they were scorched. You see, I'm not the only one speaking grammar. Even here they are speaking grammar. What's to be scorched? To scorch means what? It withered off, it burnt off. All right. And of course, that is because it was on the stone where the earth is shallow, so there was no deep root for them. And it withered away, it died off. And of course, verse 7 says that some fell on what? On thorns. What is thorns? Let me use a local language. Have you heard of chuku chuku? Good. That is it. I don't want to assume people know everything I'm talking about. I always love to make it very simple. Now, some fell on what? On a kind of ground where, of course, the ground is okay, but on that place, there is chuku chuku. So it means it started growing. So guess what happens? And the thorns sprung up. It grew together with the thorns. And guess what? When it was growing, it has grown to some degree. But guess what? The thorns did what? The chuku chuku did what? Killed the plant. But others fell on good ground. Some of the seed fell on a ground that was amazing, was good, was fertile. And what happened at the end of the day was that it brought forth fruit. It produced fruit, some in 100, some of them to full capacity in 100, some in what? In 60, and some in what? In 30s. All right. And you can also make reference. I think there's a reference here to other places like Matthew 11 and of course Genesis 26. In fact, the parables are in many places, I think. All right. That is it. Now, please pay careful attention. This is parable. All right. Now, what is the implication of this? Now, you see, many people that were there were just like, but the disciples were asking, Master, you're speaking in parables, right? The disciple came and said unto him, why speaketh thou unto them in parable? I mean, our master, why are you speaking to these people? Why are you talking to them in parable? Then he answered, Jesus answered now, he said unto them, because it is given unto you to know. So this is a privilege for the disciples. And if you check many places, this is not the first place. There are a lot of places where Jesus speaks in parables, isn't it? Yeah, he speaks in parables. And guess what? Sometimes the parables are even left. Hello? Some of these parables are left, even at the mercy of the congregation or the witnesses to what? To take their meaning out of it. The parables can be so simple. They are meant to take meanings out of it. But for this one, this is one of the parables. If you read through most of the parables, there are many parables. Let's not go into that. Let's focus on this. You'll realize that this is one of the parables amongst the very few, where after he made the parable, he himself did what? Interpreted it and explained it so that you don't make a misunderstanding of it. Hello? Good. Or should I switch it? No, maybe no one got hello. Amen? Is that the one you want to hear? Please follow me carefully. All right, please listen. There's a huge lesson to be learned here. All right, I want you to pick a very, very powerful lesson from here. All right, so the disciples asked him, why are you speaking in parables? I mean, why in parable? All right, then he answered, he said something. He said, because it is given unto you. He answered them and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Meaning you have the privilege of getting this to the fullest understanding. All right, and there are many other references to verses like this. All right, then he said this, he said, for whoever hath, him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whoever hath not, meaning whoever listens, all right, of course, whoever imbibes it will be successful. And whoever does not, of course, it shall be taken away, even though he has heard it. All right, that is it. So therefore, I speak unto them in parables, because they see not, and hearing, they hear not. Now, that's because they see, but they don't what? They see with their eyes, but they don't catch the vision. All right. Whenever you see the Bible talks things like this, most times it's a principle. Let me not go into theology. I know you will understand that better. The reality is, whenever you see seeing coming two places in the Bible or hearing coming two places in the Bible, all right, the first hearing will be from the ear. The second one will always mean understanding. It's one thing to hear, it's another thing to understand. All right. So you don't only hear with the ear. All right. Now, this is the interpretation of the parable. He said, therefore, I speak unto them. Okay, I'll talk about that. Then he said, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, by hearing, he shall hear, and shall not understand. Did you get it now? Ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing, ye shall see, but shall not what? Perceive. You might not catch the vision. For the people's heart wax gross, and their ear are dull hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest anytime they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, they should understand with their heart and should be converted, and I should heal them. There are many references to verses like this. All right. Now, but he said, but blessed are your eyes, talking to the disciples now, for they see, and yours hears, and your ears, for they hear. Now he said, for verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see. Okay, we're coming to the interpretation. Let's come. Okay, good. We're approaching there. It's a very I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and they have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and they have not heard them. All right. So hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. Hello. Amen. 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 Now listen to the interpretation of the parable. Please pay careful attention. All right, so that let's bring it down to the application on why many people don't succeed in businesses and in many places. But please take note, this is not a, it's not a, well, it's business, it's serious business. Hello, I hope you know the kingdom issue is a serious business. It's a very serious business. If you don't see that it's a serious business, then go ahead and keep playing. Now this is it. Now listen to the translation of the parable or the interpretation of the parable. So here, therefore, the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, all right? So it therefore means the seed itself, it means the word of God is the word, is the seed. Get it right, all right? So when everybody have a seed, you plant. So let's bring it down here. I'll read it literally and then I'll translate it as applied, as applicable. So when anyone heareth the word of God, I mean the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh. This is King James, right? Yes. It's King James, right? I would have loved which version? But don't worry, since I'll translate, since I'll interpret it, then there's no problem. You know, it has okay. But please pay careful attention. Because when some of you are hearing, heareth it not, seeth no, and all that. So please listen. All right. Please pay careful attention. All right. So when anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one. And who is the wicked one? Good. And cometh the wicked one and catcheth away. You see, that's some of you were like, what's yeah? All right, that is it. And catcheth away that which was sown in the heart. This is he which received the seed by the wayside. Meaning the parable of that one that fall by the wayside, all right, is equivalent to the person who just hears the word of God. And guess what? Don't worry, let me finish it when I finish it, so that when we come into translation and explanation, you get it full. All right. Then he said, number 20 said, he said, but he that received the seed into stony places, that is the second one, the same is he that heareth, and anon with joy receiveth it. All right. But yet had not root in himself. But dureth for a while, for when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. All right. Then he also that received, that's the second category, the one that received it on rock. And then he that received the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, all right, and the deceitfulness of the riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. That's the third category. All right. Now for the fourth category, he said, he that received seeds into the good ground is he that heareth the word, all right, understandeth it, which also what beareth fruit and bring forth, bringeth forth, all right, bringeth forth, not fruit, bringeth forth, meaning bringeth forth the fruit, right? Some in 100s, some in 60s, and some in 30s. Now this is the parable of the what? Of the sower. Now please pay attention. There are other parables. You see the parable of the wheat, the parable of others. Let's save that. I know many of us are confused. All right, or maybe some of us are confused, but let's come down to the explanation of this. Now, the emphasis was not on the sower per se. Hello? The emphasis was not on the sower per se. The emphasis was on the seed versus what was receiving the seed. So, spiritually, we'll talk about the word of God and who the word of God is coming into or is being spoken to. Did you get it? The reaction, the personality of the person who is receiving the word of God versus the word of God. And there are four categories. So that's spiritually. But let's come literally and let's apply it. Before I can apply this to the business, I want you to understand, even though emphasis was not made on the sower, ladies and gentlemen, you are the sower. You are the farmer. And we've given the criteria. What makes me a sower? He's an ambitious sower. There are some things that are peculiar to him. Number one, the sower is what? Ambitious. So the issue is not about the sower. The problem is not from the sower here. All right? The sower is doing the needful. He's ambitious. He has the criteria. It's one thing, if you will understand it very well, and I'll tell you, you agree with me that the sower is ambitious, and you agree with me also that the sower has an excellent what? Seed. The seed is excellent. So the problem here, it is already what? Sealed. But the problem is not the sower. The problem is not the seed. Meaning the problem is not the one giving the word, if you look at it spiritually, and the problem is not even the word itself, right? That is it. So meaning he has met this criteria. Now, when you relate this with our business, it is that person that has what? Mastered the skill, is coachable, like we gave those criteria. We say the first criteria is what? Ambitious. Number two, you must be what? Coachable. And number three, be what? Be ready to put in the work. That makes him a sower. So guess what? For the sower, he's ambitious. He has the criteria like we mentioned, and he has an excellent seed. Ladies and gentlemen, you are a sower in this business. And you're sowing seeds. And you have an excellent seed. What is your seed? Your seed is your opportunity. Your seed is your opportunity. Your seed is your business opportunity. Your seed is your product. The presentations you run. The message you pass across. That's the same thing we do in this business. And many times, just like even when people that are in the field of evangelism and they're preaching, you know, the general tendency is, wow, you want to win souls. Have you noticed so? But sometimes, guess what? It's as if it's like even some people want to, it's like it's a different thing entirely when you enter the field. You meet different categories of people. It's the same thing in your business. Now, as a principle, this is the interpretation of it. Let's translate it. Are we ready now? If we're ready, say hi. Maybe you don't like that one. Okay, amen? Okay, good. I think that's the one you prefer. Let's be using that one. All right. Now, let's do the translation so that you will know exactly why many people don't succeed or why people struggle in this business and you're surprised why they're not succeeding. Now, the first one is here. The sower goes and was sowing. Now, the first category here is, first of all, he's sowing. It's not like he was walking. That's why when I was trying to translate, and some of you were laughing, it's not like he was, some people literally takes this and they say that, okay, maybe when he was going with the seed and some of the seed fell. No, sir, no, man. Go and ask your major theologians. It was part of the sowing process. He was actually sowing. He was planting. He was casting the seed. So the sower goes out to sow, but he said the first part of the seed did what? What happened to the first part of the seed? It fell by the wayside. Falling here is the part is the sowing. And you get to know that that's why it also said that some fell on thorny ground, some fell on good ground. So if you think that the seed just fell on, so did you get what I'm saying? The good ground, they still use the word what? It fell. So that's the sowing process. He said the sower goes out to sow, and guess what? The first part of the seed falls on the wayside. And what happens when it fell on the wayside? The birds take it. And when you bring it to this business, some of you are wondering, why am I not succeeding? What is happening? I recruited people. In fact, I've been struggling in my business. Let me tell you what is happening. This is exactly what's going to happen to you in this business. You're going to experience this. If you want to become successful, you must be ready to pass through this. Number one, the first part of the seed fell on the wayside. And when it fell on the wayside, guess what? The birds got the seeds. And what is the translation, the interpretation of this? When you look at the interpretation of this, it says these are for those that heard it, right? They heard the word of God. But guess what? They heard it. But as soon as they heard it, the devil did what? Takes it away from their heart. So the seed fell on the ground and the bird came and did what? Take the seed. So there was not even time for it to even make any meaning or make any sense of the earth, maybe to even think of growing. Immediately it was landing. After some time, bird don't chop them. That's one category. Now, what is this category of people in your business? For those of you that are used to complaining. So the implication of this is this. The implication is that such a person spiritually, of course, will not believe, will not even listen. In fact, they are the ones that, please, Pastor will understand what I'm saying. When you're evangelizing sometimes, you know, some people tell you, oh, go. Shift. Have you met those kind of people? Now coming to your business. Some of you are booking. You are booking, and guess what? You take the phone call. You carry a phone and you made a call. And you are just about to call the prospect. The person, hey, calm down. I beg. I'm busy. Please don't disturb me. If you call this line again, I will arrest you. And the next thing, you fold up. You fold up. Doctor. Some of you started non-recommendation script. And you used it because you've not mastered it. Guess what happened? The next thing is, hey, one of them asked me, say, are you hush puppy, brother? And when you meet this kind of resistance, guess what many of you do sometimes? That's why some of you are not really sowers. Some of us are hunters. That's the reason why you're not succeeding. So you need to check yourself, become a sower. So I'm assuming here that you've met those criteria. Check yourself there and fill up the gap. But the idea behind it, when you become a sower, these are what you're going to be experiencing. Some of these seeds, have you seen some of them complain? Man, I've shown the opportunity to people. Nobody wants to sign up. They book your contacts. Your first 50 contacts, you invited everybody. Guess what? They are seeing it. I'm not interested. They see it before you even talk. Okay, wait. You say you can make millions, Abi. Don't worry, don't bother. You know I'm working well. Just when you have made the millions, come back. I'm waiting for you. They tell you this, they piss you off. I'm not interested, please. Some are even advising you and telling you, hey, yeah. Now so the thing can't be for you. Is this what you want to be doing with your life? So now today you did Abuja. You don't know MMM, you don't know this. These are words of rejection. These are things, these people are not cut out for your business. And guess what? You get worried. Some of them promise attendance. I'll be there. I mean, not so. Have you done that kind of booking? They tell you, I'll be there. In fact, I'm downstairs, I'm at the place, and call them after 10 minutes. The number you are dialing is switched off. It's no longer going. Or they are busy your call. It means they were just deceiving you, right? And at the end of the day, guess what most of you do? That is the time you complain. But you forget, there's one thing. That's why I told you, you need to understand. This is the most critical level of understanding you must get for you to become successful in the business. It is part of the process. Some of your seeds. In fact, some of you, you're the presenter, you're running presentation. Before you even talk 1, 2, he stands up with haughtiness and leaves the hall. And you are taking it personal. You went to a home lunch, the team burst into argument, and they are telling you, Oga, please. And you are taking it, you come down, you are so demoralized. That's what happens to some of you. Why does it happen to you? It happens to you because you don't understand that this is part of the process. You thought success was a straight walk to the moon. Who is deceiving you? Tell me which endeavor you know that success is a straight walk to the moon. There's none. There's none. You thought it was just when you attended the presentation, wow, you were thinking of all your friends that would jump and join you in the business. So immediately we engage your friends and they start giving you rejection. Guess what happened? You deflated like a tire that punctured into a nail. The morale just dropped all of a sudden. But because, and look at it, this guy is an ambitious soul. And when these birds take your seed, there are choices. The choice is up to you. When the birds get some of your seed, you have 2 options. Number 1 option is to do what? That's the option. You can spend time pursuing the birds. And I guarantee you know what it means to chase the birds? To chase the birds means you get emotionalized. And that's what many of you have been doing. That's why sometimes you book 20. Nobody comes. You won't even book the next day. You're already discouraged. Because you don't understand that this is part of the process. You book 10. Nobody showed up. It's part of the process. You book, guess what? You mean rejection and you didn't call it because you fail to understand that it's part of the process. In fact, you have the option to chase the birds. Chasing the birds, taking it personal. Some of them will even what? We even insult you and tell you that, look at you, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even have work. Go and look for work to do. So when you decide to chase the birds and take it personal, let me tell you, it's a very expensive thing to do. If you go chasing the birds, many times, you know what will happen? I can guarantee you that even that remaining seed you have, this is you that have how many contacts? You have how many contacts in your phone? 1,000 contacts. 2 people gave you rejection, told you that you are a 419, and you have 998 contacts left that would have done your business. But guess what you ended up doing? You took it personal, you focused on the rejection, and you went ahead emotionalizing, and you went ahead getting yourself worried, chasing the birds. And when you chase the bird, what happens to you? You do what? You leave the field. Because for you to chase the birds will fly away out of the field. You leave the grind. And at the end of the day, you get distracted. You are worried about those 2 people that you booked, those 10 people, those first 15 names you compiled that they didn't sign up. BAIs are coming, and you know BAI can, how many contacts do you think BAI can continue to give you? How many? Please, can anybody tell me how many contacts do you think you can get? Unlimited. You can never run short of people if you understand the system. Thousands of contacts are waiting for you. 1,000, 1 million people are waiting for you. But because of 50 people, you are tempted. Guess what? You ended up chasing the birds. You took it personal, and that is how many people dumped out and they leave the field in this business. That is it. This is a luxury you can't afford. You don't even have time to analyze. Your people, your family are telling you that this business, hey, yeah, you go and look for something. And guess what? You are spending time trying to prove a point to your family. You are spending time, wasting energy, trying to prove a point to your family that there's a vision behind it, blah, 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 blah. They are not understanding. Focus on your business and build it. And this is how many people leave the field and they dump their business. And it will shock you to know something. Over 65 to 70%. In fact, some writers will tell you 75% of people will dump this business within the first 1 year. Yes. In the first 1 year. And the 4 within the first 3 categories. So the first one is this. These people who what? The seed falls on ground. So when you expect and you attempt to show people the opportunity and they don't give you a hearing, it is part of the process. Please tell your neighbor it is part of the process. Stop getting worried as if it's one big deal. It's part of the process. It's just part of it. Oh, what were we expecting? You were expecting that you just show people the opportunity and everybody you show, they'll start signing up because you are what? Did it happen to Jesus like that? I'm asking, did it happen to Jesus Christ like that? Please, is there any prophet of old that it happened to? No. That just came and everybody accepted his message? No. It has never happened. It has never happened. It's part of the process. You must face resistance. And guess what? So you have that choice. Quit the business, get discouraged, get demoralized, and leave the business. But guess what? That's not something you can afford. Or you can choose to do what? It was the first 50 contacts. 1,000 contacts are waiting there for you. You have the choice to keep sowing. And that's the best option. For many of you, that's the unfortunate thing. You just get distracted and you dump the business because you felt you talked to some few 3 persons who even gave you rejection and told you they are not interested, and you quit the business. And you lose the vast majority of millions of people that are waiting for you, who are ready to receive this business opportunity and sign in. You dump them just because you are discouraged of some 3, 4, 5, 10 people. So unfortunate. All right. But guess what? That tells you, that is where you know the hunters versus the farmers. Trust what the farmer, what did the sower do? A hunter will quit the business. A hunter will chase the bird. What do hunters do? Hunters do what? Chase. They chase. They chase. We have the posers, we have the hunters, we have the farmers. The hunters will always chase. They take it personal. You start chasing about, start getting personalized with it and start taking it personal. You chase the birds and you leave the field. And that's exactly what hunters do when you shoot a game or you shoot an animal. You didn't get it. The animal is running. What do? You pursue. That's what hunters do. So you choose, you can continue to do. So anytime you see anybody that quits the business because of this little trivial issue, was never a farmer. He has not met the criteria. Success is not a significant thing for him. If success is significant, he won't spend time chasing the birds. What will he do? What did the sower did in this case? He took the option number 2. That is what you are supposed to take. Kept on sowing. And guess what? The sower kept on sowing. And I want you to take note of something. If you keep sowing, this is one principle you should understand. When you keep sowing, you can sow more than the birds can eat. That's the truth. Your seeds are always bigger than what the birds can eat. Because there aren't enough birds. How many people are even rejecting you? Sometimes it takes just one rejection for some people to quit your business. Do you realize that? One rejection, just one rejection. One person just told you, hey, oh, so you are finally joined 419. Only one person told you this. In your contact, there are 500 people. Beyond your contact, Nigeria has 200 million plus people by statistics. It took only one person to what? To determine what to do. If you had kept on sowing, those numbers are insignificant to the equation. That's it. So when you spend time sowing, guess what? There aren't enough birds. Let them keep eating. Some of you get discouraged. I saw someone who quit the business said because people were criticizing me. They were just telling me. In fact, they were criticizing me. Me, I'm a religious figure. In fact, I'm a chief. So people were now saying that they are criticizing me. Look at that minority. That's, what do I call it? Infinitesimal. That's insignificant quantity of people that are criticizing you. But you left the vast majority of people that this business is supposed to help you touch their lives, help. School fees are supposed to be paid and everything. You dumped it. If you had done that, there aren't enough work there. They will take, they will eat. But guess what? You keep sowing. And the sower, of course, did that. So that's where you know a farmer. And while he was sowing, there was also a category of people. Some of the seed fell on what? On what? On rocky ground. And the rocky ground is this. The rocky ground, just like you have the picture there, taking a similarity for you to appreciate what we're talking about. You see, there are soil there. It's not like there are no soil. There's soil there. But the rocky ground, has rock, maybe stone, then small sand on top. So immediately it fell. As long as there's soil with some level of what, at least a place where the plant can anchor. What happened when it happened? They said, take note, the rocky ground, there's soil, the soil is shallow. And this is not your own making. There are different personalities. There are some things you don't get worried about. In fact, let me even tell you what this means. When you see, it's not your own making because he's an excellent sower. You're an excellent sower. He's sowing the seeds. He has good seeds. He has a good business opportunity. And some of you are worried. You start doubting yourself. This is a point where you start doubting yourself because you show somebody the business opportunity. Please, is this gen or light? Yeah. Okay. Please, can we open this stuff, please? So this is where you show someone the opportunity, and guess what happens? The person tells you, the person says, I'm interested, and starts the business. Some of you look at what gets you. You've scaled the first one, you've gotten the sign-ups. Is it not opening? Open this one, this very one. Yeah, that one. Please, just somebody, you might need to stand up and use some level of. Open the boat, please, so that we can. You mean it's not opening? Oh, this one will try. Please try and open. Somebody, please help us with that. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, thank you. Open that one. Yes. It's open? No, it's not now. All right, good. So that we can have good ventilation, please. So we don't choke ourselves. Okay, good. So guess what? Some of these seeds are going to fall on rocky ground. It's part of the process, whereby you show somebody the opportunity and they eventually sign up. All right. Translating that spiritually means, guess what? These were a second set of people. A second set of people who heard the word. In fact, they heard it. They received it with joy. Isn't it? I think that's what he said. They heard it. They received it with joy, but with no roots, no firm roots, no firm belief system in their heart. For a while, they were believers. They believed for a while. That's what Jesus Christ said, Abi. They believed for a while. And after believing for a while, what happened next? Okay, all right. And guess what? In times of temptation, guess what? They were tested and they still left the world. And you're going to have them in this business too. Because some of you as leaders, the problem you are facing is at the end of the day, you have signed, finally you've gotten sign up. You were motivated when you saw the business, you are happy. Now you've gotten the sign up and you are even happier. Finally, people have signed up, and in signing up, but guess what happened? As they are coming in, 10 people signed up. Before you know what's happening, all of them, and they paid money. In fact, some paid 15 accounts to tell you that they believed, they loved the business. They attended Quick Starter Guide. After them, you didn't see them again. And then guess what? Where you know you are not an excellent sower, you are a hunter, you are not a farmer, is you are discouraged. You are discouraged. What is happening here? This time, the seeds will start to grow. The downlines started, you got some downlines and they are growing. But guess what happens? The hot weather, because it's rock, the hot weather comes, no firm root, it dies up. Question is, what can you do? What can you do? In this kind of case, what can you do here? You have these people, let me break it down so I understand. You show them the opportunity, and guess what? These are people, they are interested. I'll take a look at it. They took a look at it. I'll think about it. They thought about it. They even signed up. I'll pay tomorrow. They paid. And guess what? They saw the business. They adopted it. They signed into the business. And after signing into the business, some of them signed up and they didn't come back for QSG. Till today, you have been battling with them to come for QSG. Do you have them in your team? Some of them came for QSG. They even write contact lists. Did they write? No, they refused to write. And you have been following them. Oh, please write the contact list. They refused to write. Some of them even wrote it. Come and send text message. After then, they didn't come back to send messages. You are having these people in your team. Guess what? They wrote the text message, they sent the text message, they did everything. They were even busy in the business. They were trying to build it. But guess what happens? Before you even know what's happening. In fact, some of them, immediately they paid, they went. And they were even telling you that, man, doctor, I have a lot of people who I will do this, I will do this. They were giving you assurance. We die here. We take you to the moon. We do this, we do that. They left. 24 hours down the line, they came back the next day and were demanding their money back. Do you have them in your team? And you started getting worried. You started getting worried. It tells you that you're not a farmer. Because these are the categories of people. The question is, what can you do? Can anybody tell me what can you do in such case? Now, if you've done the best you can, there are things you can do at various stages. But the reality is this. Sometimes you do your best. You educate them. You show them the vision. You do everything. Guess what? They have their stand. There's nothing you can do. It is a rocky ground with little soil. There is nothing. The answer is what? There are some people, there's nothing you can do. Because it's a personality. You tried your best. It's the reality many people don't accept. This is the business we do, and it's a reality. Not everybody, as long as Maurice said something, he said, despite the fact that this is one of the most viable and one of the best financial vehicles in the world today. Take note, this is one of the best financial vehicles, this is one of the best businesses on the surface of the earth. But it's even at that, not everybody will do it. It's the truth. And when you don't accept this fact, in fact, the earlier you know this, so that you know peace. That's the reason why there's nothing that discourages me. You sort out. So there's nothing you can do. You don't kill yourself. You try to worry yourself. Oh. Why? The reason is simple. The reason is simple because why? Because some don't just stay. It's just a natural tendency that some will not stay in the business. It's not really your fault per se. That is after you've done everything, you've learned the basic thing, you know what you're doing, you've done the needful, you've done the right thing. At the end of the day, some will still not stay. It doesn't matter, even if it's Dr. Victor, even if it's Dr. Umar, even if whoever it is, no matter how good of a leader you are, the truth about it is this: some don't. Is the truth. You can't help it. Know this and know peace. In every endeavor, there's no endeavor where everybody gets it 100%. When you were in secondary school, was it everybody that wrote WAEC and pass? In fact, was it even everybody that stayed in the school till they wrote WAEC? Or when you're in the university, some dropped out. Some don't stay. When someone leaves, just put them on the category of people that don't what? Don't stay. It's not, you move on. And that is exactly what the ambitious sower, that's what a typical sower does. Because I'm tired of these people complaining, doctor. In fact, I made a call. I made calls today, nobody came. It's part of the process. I made call, nobody came. Oh, in fact, I made a call. In fact, they came. They even signed up. Oh. In fact, you know what? After then, in fact, today I've been calling me. He's not picking his call. Means everything is tiring me. Oh. Because you've not understood it. Hello? Amen? Amen. It's like it's this one that makes more sense. But please pay careful attention. Okay? Now, what is the point here? Now, what did he do? Please pay careful attention. Pay careful attention, because this is where most of you miss the mark and you get discouraged and you dump the business. Now, what did the sower do that enabled him to keep on sowing? Because that's what he did. He kept on sowing despite everything. The sower kept on doing what? Sowing. And that is the secret to the success, if there is any. Remember, there's no secret. This secret is just a word here we're using. I've mentioned that. That's why I had to emphasize it from the beginning. There's a system to it, and this is the system. Every worthy endeavor takes a process. There's a system to it. So if anybody is looking for a secret, it is the system you're looking for, not a secret. So what did he do? Because that's where a lot of people give up in the business. You have people, in fact, someone signed up a lot of people, about 12 people. After some time, a lot of them quitted. I think about over 8 of them or thereabout. There were still 4 remaining in the business. And these 12 sign-ups, he got them within his first 2 weeks in his business. 2 weeks in the business. This is somebody in my team. First 2 weeks, 12 sign-ups. After some time, over more than half of them quit the business. And as I speak with you, the guy quit. Why did he quit? Just because those people were quitting. Pardon? Yeah, that's it. Just because those people were quitting. And he eventually quitted. That is because he's not a sower. He's supposed, what was he supposed to keep on doing? He even has some that fell. He doesn't know those remaining 4 that didn't quit. We don't even know where to fall. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, one of those seeds actually fell on a what? On a good ground. You'll get to understand it. I'm talking of someone in my team who signed up 12 people within a short space of time, within less than how many, just 2 weeks. Got it. Some quitted, about more than 8 of them or thereabout quit. And then he quits the business. And eventually others had to quit the business. In fact, some even struggled, try at the end of the day, but one fell on good ground and is one of the leaders in our organization today. Probably if he had stayed and nurtured the remaining 3, maybe those ones would have been what? Would have been viable. So what did he do? So it means he lacked the capacity to what? To keep up. He got discouraged and stopped sowing. And that's what many of us do at the end of the day in this business, in network marketing. So what did he do that enabled him to keep on sowing? What did he do? Can anybody guess? What do you think a person needs to do so that you stay in and keep on sowing? Can anybody guess? Pardon? Yeah, continue to recruit, but what will give him that courage? Because at this point in time, this is where people get discouraged. Man, all my downlines are not serious. Cell meeting, patience, determination. Say it. Who else again? Okay. Stay motivated. Look at what this guy did. Please, can we read that together? What did he do? That is what you are expected to do. In that time, you have to learn how to discipline your disappointment. Do you know what it means to discipline your disappointment? It's captured in what most of you are saying. Because some people, one of the things that kills a lot of people, we see this isolation. You are getting discouraged or things are happening. You didn't know that that's the time you are supposed to spend more time with people that are ambitious. That's the time you are supposed to attend cell meeting the more. When it's not working, when you are not getting the sign up, or you get the sign up, they are quitting, you are facing challenges. That is supposed to be the time where you are supposed to glue more to positive motivations, to people that are ambitious like you, to people that are pursuing the same goal, to people that work. That's the time you're supposed to attend cell meeting. That's the time you're supposed not to miss trainings. You're supposed to always be present in trainings. So that you work, you discipline those disappointments and you stay motivated, and that will give you the capacity to do what? To keep sowing. But unfortunately, this is where people get discouraged. That's when you start hearing, just give me some time. Just give me some time, I'll bounce back. You are gone. Anybody that tells you give me some time is a goner. The worst that a leader will do, in fact, I've seen a leader do that. You know, we have nomination errors. This one is even happening currently. A leader is telling me, he has the audacity to tell me in the phone, Doctor, just please, just give me some time. When you have over 100 persons in your team, they should give you time. Me, give you time, then your downline that you recruited, everybody should give you time. Trust me, you are not only going to lose that leadership, the kind of yanking out, because he's a leader. He's a leader. So the idea here is discipline your disappointment. When you face those challenging times, that is the time where you need to do more. Because that's where you're going to meet Dr. Umar, and Dr. Umar will tell you, know what I'll tell you? Oh, you booked 20, nobody attended. Oh, I think we need to take it higher. Let's book 40. Yeah, that's what I'll tell you. Oh, how many did you book? 5. Doctor, you know, I booked 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon. I'm supposed to have 10 people, but only 1 person came. 10, 1. Let's book 100 so that we'll have 10 to come. That's what I'll tell you at that time. And we'll sit down and do it. And at that time, guess what? That means you can continue to see, you can continue to sow. That is what will give you the courage to move on. If you don't have the courage, guess what? You quit out of this business. At the end of the day, you won't know what you missed. You quit out because of trivial issues. And the third category of what? Of this seed, so you are sowing. Don't get worried. Please talk to somebody beside. Tell the person it is part of the process. It is now. What are you expecting? Some of these seeds fell on thorny ground, and guess what? It even started growing, started doing well. Little plants start to grow. It was growing. Look at it. Look how beautiful. Just to give you a picture. It was growing. You can see the plants were growing. But do you think these plants will survive? At the end of the day, they won't survive. The thorn choke it to death, and it eventually died. And guess what? You, and this is more particularly, especially at the top leadership level. Some of you, guess what? This is where you have raised. This is where you have, please, this call, I have to take it. You know who is calling me? It's my mentor. I cannot, please let the training wait, please, okay? Hello? Is Dr. Victor calling me? I have to take this call, please. The boss, sir. Good morning, sir. Fine, sir. Yes, sir. We are just in our Spoil Leadership Monday in training, sir. We're in the training, but sir, you can go ahead, sir. You can go ahead, sir. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Okay, so should I call you back, sir? Should I call you back, sir? Should I call you back, sir? Okay. Yeah, yes, I was in the training, but go ahead, sir. I'm listening, sir. Yes. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. That's true. That's true. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. 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 That's true. Okay. 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 Well, thank you very much. Okay. Okay. I will. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay. I won't beg for your forgiveness. So please, anybody that is not comfortable with this, please. You can. All right. So can we move on? All right. It was very important information. That's it. He won't call me except it's something very important. That's just where I won't call him except it's something very important. So when he called me, I know it's something very important. Okay. So let's move on. So some of these seeds, like we said, fell on what? On thorny ground, and little plants started to grow. The plant was growing, and guess what? At the end of the day, it chokes it to death, and it dies. And you have cases like this, especially when you are building your business. Some of you will do amazingly well. In fact, you started a business, you're going to have start raising some people. All right. Just like when Jesus was when was translating the parable, he says some went for, these are people that took action. They were doing well, they were doing fine. They believed in it. The world, was in favor of them, and they were doing fine. But at some point in time, they got distracted. All right, before getting to the peak of fruition. Right, that is it. And these are cases whereby sometimes you're going to have it in your team. Expect it is part of the process. There are people you're going to be training, you're raising in this business. In fact, they will even start the SMO checklist. They will go through the training. They will even learn how to book. In fact, they will even get to a position whereby, in fact, you will even start eyeing them. Possibly, I think this person can be considered for leadership. They will be kingsmen, real strong kingsmen. And they can even be, someone can even get to a level of emerging leaders. Hello? Yeah, they could get to that level. And they are doing fine. They are doing just fine. But guess what? At the end of the day, you'll be surprised. Wake up one morning and you can't find them anymore. They are dead and gone. They are dead and gone. And what happened? What are these things that really cause about this? How do you summarize this in our business? Things like this are what? The thorns are this little chaos. Sometimes there are some things, challenges that will pose you in this business. Some challenges will pose themselves to you in the business. What are we talking about here? Including what? What are we talking about? Distractions. Some of them, it could be, maybe they were doing the business. They just got one promotion. They were doing well in the business. And at least they were able to still give 2-3 hours to the business, even though they were doing it part-time. But all of a sudden, guess what happens? Boom. They promoted them in their place of work, but they told them that, look, now you have to be giving 12 hours to the job. Now, little distractions off the business. Some of them, oh, you know what? I don't have money. Some of them, the distraction can be, let me just go and look for money somewhere. Let me upgrade my account. I'm coming back with full force. Some of them, guess what? Little things. In fact, they are countless. You can give me some of the example. Why do you think some people that have gotten to a level in the business, they are even done with their SMO checklist? Because it's expected anybody that is done with the SMO checklist has taken the pain to get to that length, knows how to make call, believes in the business, of course, but still quits the business. Why? In fact, he even upgraded his account to 15 accounts, but at the end of the day, still quit the business. Why? Family distractions. Yes, part of it. Some of them will get family distractions, and guess what? They quit the business. Some of them family pressure. So many things can come up. Let me give you some classical examples. Some classical examples in the business. Some of them it's things like, and trust me, it's a reality. Some of them is things like this. We've experienced something like this during the COVID era. How many of us remember the COVID-19? Those of you that are in the business. Those leaders that were there in the business during the COVID-19. We lost a couple of leaders. We lost leaders. The COVID-19 came, social distancing. Social distancing came, became a problem. People could not, in fact, we started learning to adapt, and I'll come to that, what happened. So some of them, guess what, is as bad as this. The problem is this personal deficiency, duplication skills. They can't duplicate. You've duplicated, you've taught them, but they can't pass the knowledge on. And because of that, they can't record anybody significant in their team. Some of them, leadership problem, poor leadership. It's a problem. So many issues they will have, family crisis, economic crisis. They stop getting signed up for a period of while. Dry period just came, temptation. And the next thing, they will just go and get a job. Is it your fault? It's not. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. Because the mistake you make is when you start saying these things, you start getting worried. Some of them, it might even be issue of back orders. Do you remember, I think, was it January this year or was it sometime December last year? There was this period of time when there was some delay in product, because product was scarce and we're waiting for a shipment. And within that period, some of you recorded people that decided to quit your business. True or false? They quitted. And that issue lasted for how long? About a month plus. Just for that month. And after the next month, what happened? They quit the business. Boom, products everywhere. The reason why they quit was addressed immediately after they quit. Product everywhere. Then you could walk into the company, buy anything you want, and walk out. Immediately after they quit. Not giving consideration to the fact that these products are being imported, and they can be delays and all that. Guess what? People quit. Back orders. And these are things. This business has been operating for many years, 10 years in Nigeria. The company has not taken anybody's money running away. So many things like this will come. Some of them will be character issues. Hello? Some of them will grow character issues. Some of them where they will meet their mark. These are part of the process. They will be very humble. They are okay, but immediately they start making money. 500,000 naira per month. Guess what? That is where they will die off. If their prospect come, tell them to just wait a little, please. They just direct them to other offices. We're going to round up in the next few minutes. That's it. And guess what? What is the point here? Character issues will pick up. Immediately they start making money. Some of them have never touched 500,000 naira in a month in their life. First time in this business, they started making 500,000 naira in a month. They'll grow horns. They'll start oppressing everybody around them. Character issues, arrogance, pride. And these are people that you will start to be surprised. Is it not the same person that was growing and was okay? But at the end of the day, he will visit the reward of arrogance and pride. And it will collapse the business. And he will now get discouraged and quit the business. And you start getting worried. What happened? What is happening? Please turn to somebody beside you, tell him it's part of the process. Yeah, it's part of the process. They're going to experience it. Some of them will be integrity issues. You raise a leader to a point, a level. In fact, to a level whereby, wow, imagine leader, unstoppable leader. And before you know, you just he went one place and go and ate people's money and stole people's money around. It's part of the process. So that is it. Get choked by the tongues. Distractions. We had one terrible connector in our business recently. Of course, I'm sure he will go to prison, definitely, no doubt. He just, he's on the prison now for 2 weeks. Yes. And when that was happening, how were you feeling? You're feeling somehow, right? In your team. Someone just went to one locality and went to start collecting people's money, not to even buy the product and sign them in. He was collecting their money and eating the money. You see that level of guts? Collect the money. It's not like he even took the sign up and placed it wrong. He collected the money for how many accounts? A total of 1 point something million naira. And ate the money. And as we speak now, he's in jail. And that's the beauty of C2NFG, integrity. But the question is this, is it your fault? It is part of the process. You're going to raise a leader, and this is someone that's finished the SMO checklist. Am I correct? Does he know how to present? He presents. He's a leader. We're already admiring giving him emerging leadership, but guess what? He went and collected people's money and ate it. It is part of the process. But trust me, they won't escape it, right? They will always be brought down. So the idea behind it is personal deficiency. Some of you, look at it. The idea behind it, some of them cannot duplicate. They can't duplicate. They can't lead. Confidence issue. It's part of the process. At some point in time, they were building confidence. Now it's time to take a higher responsibility, but no confidence. Little problem comes, obstacle melts them down. And this is where I'm going to share something very powerful with you. I was listening to an excerpt from a coach training. I'm sure some of you saw this in this. Please pay careful attention to this. Because the same hot water that makes the potato soft is the same hot water that makes the egg what? That is it. Listen to what confidence is. Pay careful attention.
What I'd like to do now is
let me be sure that the sound is shared. Okay, good.
I'd like to give you a formula that will help you turn every single obstacle into an opportunity. And by doing so, you'll gain confidence in the process. This is one of the things that if you can master this idea, most of you you lack confidence because of the obstacles in your life. Right? This showed up, I'm not good at this, this is an obstacle. I don't have the skill, I don't have the talent, I don't have the ability, I live in a small town, I whatever it happens to be.
Obstacles.
All of us have obstacles. All of us
you quit
do.
The business.
But the skill and the thing that will help you gain confidence is to turn those obstacles, the obstacles themselves, into an opportunity.
Did you hear?
And here's how to do it. Marcus Aurelius, 170 AD, he said, "Our actions may be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting." The last line says, "The impediment to action advances action. The obstacle becomes the way. What stands in the way becomes the way."
What stands in the way can become.
Sounds strange, right? How can this obstacle? I don't want an obstacle. I want a smooth path. That might serve you. I don't think it will. Bad leaders are destroyed by crisis.
Bad leaders.
Crisis shows up. Company changes your compensation plan.
3.0 launched.
Bad leaders are destroyed.
People quit.
Have to change the ingredient in your favorite product. Bad leaders are destroyed.
No more feminine wash and masculine wash.
Negative press or unfair press happens with your company. Bad leaders are destroyed. Good leaders survive. Being a survivor, that's what good leaders do. Great leaders are improved by crisis. Improved by crisis. It creates an opportunity to build something even more important and be something even more important. Leaders spend 5% of their time on the problem and 95% of the time on the solution. Weak leaders do the opposite. Spend 95% of, well, what is this? And worry and doubt and concern and everything else. Good leaders spend 95% of the time on the solution to any problem and how to use it to your advantage. When one person sees a crisis, another can see an opportunity. And by doing this, you'll gain confidence. Confidence is a two-way street. In one sense, you come in with confidence.
Let's pause it there and let's move on. And I'm going to take the three things here, three takeaways. He said when one person sees a crisis, another person is seeing a what? That's it. During the pandemic, like I mentioned, Corona pandemic came, and people saw it as a crisis. Oh, people don't have money. People, the little money they have, they are thinking of surviving. They won't sign in the business. And that was during the time we still made some money. But guess what? Just like he said, bad leaders are destroyed by what? Crisis. When the Corona pandemic came, people left the business. One little issue came. The company launched a new compensation plan that made people quit, which was even better. But guess what good leaders do? Good leaders will survive. They survived the Corona pandemic. At least they tried. It's not about survival. Great leaders do what? They adapt, they get to improve. And that was where Zoom, this thing we're doing, can you see? If it was not coronavirus, Zoom has been existing before corona pandemic, but nobody was interested in it. But immediately COVID-19 came, we adopted Zoom. Great leaders are improved by crisis. We don't pray for crisis, but when it comes at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for you to become more for yourself. Because the reality is this, some people will spend 5%, and real leaders will spend 5% on the problem. They don't think much about it. They think about solution. When you find yourself, anytime an issue comes, you're analyzing, figure out what is the problem. Why am I booking? Why are they not attending? Why is there anybody I recruit? I train them, after some time they die. Figure out the problem. Once you can figure out the problem, that's what it is. You've made your way. And that is it, right? And that is what is typical of the sower. The sower kept on doing what? And that is the secret of your success. You stay consistent. Keep doing it. Because the opportunity is there. The seed is viable. And you are what? You're ambitious. You're a good sower. And guess what? Meaning he kept on showing, you keep on sharing the opportunity, you keep on inviting, you keep on following up, you keep on booking. Yes, you booked, only few people attend, you book more. The only thing I encourage is this: when you do it and you're not getting results for some time, what should you do? You quickly what? Go and meet your mentor or your leader as quick as possible. That's what you do. Some people, I told them, they met me and I told them, just record some of the calls and send to me. And when they send it to me, I corrected their mistakes. And guess what? They applied it. Right? I corrected their mistake and they applied it and they improved. My mentor just called me and guess what? He was observing something. We had a discussion, we had some interaction, and he observed something. And then he called me privately now to tell me, please, Dr. Man, this is. Did you see what mentorship is about? He has just drew my attention to something very, very important. And that's what it is. So mentorship is just what it is. Go learn the right thing and then continue. Sometimes you know the right thing, you are doing the right thing, but still, remember, they will fall on what? Rocky ground. Some will fall on what? By the roadside. Some will fall on thorns. It doesn't matter how perfect you are, but process will definitely take its course. Don't let anybody deceive you. It's anywhere. That is it. So you keep on doing the follow-up, you keep on doing everything, keep on improving, applying the skills, and that is what the sower is doing. And finally, when you stay consistent, the seeds eventually fall on good ground. And the good news is it will always fall on good ground. McKennell said something. He said, McKennell, that is the author of Your First Year Network Marketing, right? Mark and Riennell. McKennell made a quote in that book. He said, you will discover that more than 95% of people, first, he says 65% of people will quit the business in the first year, right? Some will quit along the line, right? But eventually about 95% or more might quit. But you still have 5% that will stay 4 years, 5 years in the industry. He said most people that stay as long as that, 5 to 10 years, they end up becoming so stupidly rich beyond the imagination of so many people. Good. Why? Because it will always fall on good ground. Sometimes your problem is duplication. It has always been duplication. You keep on signing and they are dying off. But it only takes one encounter to get it right. And when you finally get it right, it will cover for all those 1 year, 6 months that you were not getting the reasonable result you anticipated. Within 1 month, you get all the result of a year from just one encounter of breakthrough, right? It will always fall on good ground. And guess what? That is if you continue to share this idea long enough, you continue to prosper, you continue to do the work long enough. And guess what? It will fall on good people, the right people. Don't try to be lucky. Let me just pray that I just get one Dr. Victor on the left, Ambassador Michael on the right, so I'll just go and sleep. No, it doesn't work that way. Keep doing the sowing, keep doing it. That is it. And when it eventually falls on the right people, then you become massively successful. That is where you start buying cars. Somebody has stayed for civil service 35 years, 40 years, and is still struggling to still even build a house. But you 5 years, you are doing a turnover of over 100 to 200 million annually. And someone will look at you and say, this one is ritualist, so how did he get the money? But they won't see, you see, the hidden part of it is all this process we just talked about. Everything was, I became a ritualist. Immediately I bought a car. Immediately I started launching projects. Automatic. But nobody saw all this. And many of you just see, oh, Dr. Omar, wow. So, forget Dr. Omar, he has already made it, he's already above. But there's a part of Dr. Omar you are not seeing. There's a part of Dr. Omar you are not seeing. There's a part of those days where I drove The small car I bought, I drove it from here to Kaduna to run an event. But after getting there, no single person was in the hall. Bought my fuel and everything. Took this in journey from here to Kaduna. They gave me guarantee. Mentor, don't worry, the hall will be filled up. The hall will be filled up. Blow all the way to Kaduna. Lo and behold, connectors were sitting and looking at me. You didn't see that. You're not aware. They were part of it you didn't see. And I blew my car. And guess what I did? I still converted to an opportunity. I used the opportunity to run trainings for them and spoke sense into their brain. So that next time it will not happen like that. And I blew empty, came back. But you didn't see that. It will always fall on good people. And at the end of the day, you'll become successful. But that's not the end of the story, right? It's not the end of the story. Remember, when it finally falls on good people, it means it will bear fruit. I mean, these are people that will stay in. They will become leaders. Eric Ore said in the business, how many percent did he say they are? Can anybody guess? Let me know those that have watched that video. How many percent? They are 2%. 2%. When you take the whole process, please take note of something. When you take the whole process, you see those ones that will fall on good ground, that will fall on the good ground and produce the best fruit, 2%. Because some will produce, some will come in, they will stay in for a while. And within that while they stay, they will even sign other people. And the beautiful thing is you will even make money. I hope you know that. They will come in, they will sign up, you make money, and then they will sign other people. It will count for income for both them and you, but they will still quit. But you see those ones that will stay finally. These are the ones that will take it to the moon. Of the whole C21FG, hundreds of thousands of people in C21FG. How many masterminds do we have? How many masterminds? 5 people masterminded it. 5 people stayed. 4 of them. In fact, there were more than 5 masterminds. Go and trace the story. There were more than 5 masterminds initially. Some of the masterminds quitted along the line. People started the business with Dr. Victor and everything. Is it that Dr. Victor didn't face difficulties? Is it that Ambassador Nefo didn't face difficulties? Is it that other masterminds didn't face difficulties? No, they faced. But they're the ones that decided to stay with Ambassador Michael. Others quit. Others were analyzing, man. Dr. Victor told me of one of the person that he was even a doctor that was part of the mastermind. Always, he was always, if they bring idea way forward, he's always bringing way backward. He finally quit. In fact, at the end of the day, he quit. The last time they even saw him was it books he was even selling or what? And that's the funny thing. Go and check. Some people that will even quit your business at the end of the day. It's not like they're even going to do something reasonable that will make them millionaires better than your business, right? It doesn't end the story. The story here is this. Some, they will fall on good ground and they will do well, but they will not do well in the same capacity, all right? Some will produce at what? 30%. Some will produce at what? 60%. You can see the 30%. Wow, that's amazing. It's okay. Even though it's poor, but at least it's something. All right. Some will even get to imagine leadership. At least that's their level. They might just remember. Some will get to another level, monthly millionaires, and all that. But guess what? Some will become global leaders at 100%. They will do 8 figures in your team. They will do 8 figures. Now I want to ask you a question. Why? The reason is because it is the way it is. You can't help it. There's nothing you can do. See, there are some things, don't even know this thing, understand it, and know peace so that you will have peaceful mind. You just be building your business. You don't force things. What you do, you influence things. You try to influence, you try to encourage, you motivate, you are there, you sacrifice, but you don't what? You don't force things. It's unnecessary. Once you understand that, you have peace. You don't take it personal. Because that is how it is. That's how it's meant to be. All right? Let the 30% do their 30%. Hello? Let the 60% do their 60%, and let the 100% do their 100%. But one thing is sure, by the time you become successful, it is so stupid. How many of you know Carlos Bonaventura? How many of you know Carlos Bonaventura, right? If you don't know Carlos Bonaventura, it means you are not supposed to be here, please. All right? It means you've not done your Kickstarter guide. Guess what? People that are going to succeed with you, those that will stay with you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, trust me, at the end of the day, it's going to be something else. There are people from among you, by the grace of God, that will not only buy Benz, will not only buy the kind of car I have, will not only do the kind of houses I bought, but guess what? They would fly private, they are private owned jets. They are in your business. They are. You will fly it and you could buy it together in this business. Where is it, Mr. Ibrahim, madam? Is he here? Okay, he's in his office. He was here yesterday, and I think even Mr. Marcus was here. Some other people, we were talking about. I had some of my friends who, saw the business and they didn't join, but now finally they're joining the business. In fact, yesterday one of them connected. Maybe it might even be with us on Zoom. But there was something I wanted to draw reference to. The point is, at the end of the day, she connected into the business. Yes, that's understandable. She finally connected into the business. And many that will reject the opportunity will still come eventually. But the question is, sometimes will you be there when they come back? Some people that even left the business, you're not there, and they are back. And when you're not there, they will sign under another person. That's what usually happens. So the 30% will do their 30, 60 will do their 60, and 100 will do their 100. The idea is this: you can't help it. If you check it very well, when the person that came yesterday came, the owner of this plaza coincidentally stepped in. Mr. Adamu was there. Mr. Adamu Ibrahim was there. I think some other persons were there. The owner of the plaza came. We came to this plaza just the way it happened in Gudu. I was with 3/4 short knicker, and guess what? On a red Rover bike, we went to his office, and I told him that we were even pricing. He told me 600,000 naira for the office, 300,000. We were pricing and pricing and pricing. And at the end of the day, we landed in about 500,000. But after we finished accepting the price, I told him we are going to rent nearly all the offices in this plaza. Then I now encouraged him. I said, you know what you do? Since we are just starting here, pay for one account so that we can work the business together. He said, no, Dr. Omar, please just sign, just pay your money for the project, just pay the one that brought us. Later we'll talk about that one. He didn't believe in it. But at the end of the day, he came here and was testifying to Dr. Omar. Hey, he was even the one helping me close my own prospect. He was helping me close my prospect. Believe Dr. Omar is speaking like a prophet. In fact, he told me I'm regretting why I didn't start then. And as a manager now, I will help you. We have transfer money, let's start. And guess what? He still didn't start. Now, what is the point here? The point to make is there are people that will drive private jets. You are going to fly it with your team members. But those are those that will stay. Some will not fly private jet with you. Some will buy amazing cars. They will build amazing houses. That's their 60%. Some will at least live very okay. They will achieve things that no civil servant will ever dream of achieving, even at director level. It's their 30%. Let them live at that. But the most important thing, they will all succeed. And that's what is important at the end of the day. You're going to have people succeeding. But those are those that will stay. And I'll leave you, and this is where we're going to be ending. All right. Let me draw this your attention to so that you can appreciate this. Bill Gates was asked, I think some of you might have seen this, a lot, where he was asked about his success. I think it was an interview where he was asked, and then he said there's no secret. He said there's no what? Yeah, there's no secret. This thing we're calling secret is actually a process. There's a process to it and there's a system to it. How did you succeed? What happened? This is what he said. He said, I simply show the plan to how many people? Please, do we know Bill Gates? Who is Bill Gates? He was one time the richest man in the world, but even till now, he's still one of the richest men in the world. I think he's the number what now? No, 5 is Mark Zuckerberg. I think he's either 4th or 3rd or the other. No, is it 3rd or 4th? 3rd or 4th, but confirm it. He's one of the richest men in the world till date. He's the founder of Microsoft and a couple of other amazing companies, right? He founded an amazing idea. He's a sower, a good seed, and ambitious. And he showed his plan to how many people? 1,200 contacts booked. You, how many did you book? Now you're complaining. Booked 1,200 contacts. And guess what? In fact, out of the 1,200, 900 said what? No, sir, I'm not interested. 900, do you know what it means? It means after booking 1,200, it means 300 people what? Attended. Hello? Listen to one of the richest men in the world talking. 1,200 people, 1,200 calls booked. Contact list. 1,200 prospect booked. 900 said what? No, I'm not interested. Some of you, just one person told you no and you're already quitting. 900 said no. 300 did what? They signed up. They said yes. So it means 900 fell on what? Fell on the roadside. 300 fell on what? Out of it, no. 300 eventually at least proceeded further. Of the 300, guess what? Only 85 did something reasonable. It means 215 fell on the rocky ground. 215 fell on rocky ground. And guess what? Of the 85 that even tried to even do anything, 35 were serious. If you remove 35 from 85, it means remaining how many? 50. It means 50 fell on what? On thorns. 50 fell on thorns. And guess what? How many succeeded? How many made him a billionaire? 11. Out of a total of how many booked? 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please, none of you should ever come to me and tell me, doctor, I booked you and nobody attended. The next time you come, please, before you come to tell me that, go and book 1,200. Hello? That is it. All right. Now, regardless of people will do a different capacity, but we want people that will do how many percent? That's what you want. And how can you get those people that will do 100%? Can anybody guess? What do you think you need to do to get 100%? I'll save you the guess. This is what you do. This is it. It's a process. Go through this experience and you yourself, first of all, become the 100% man. The 100% man is called a what? Be that ego, first of all. Because each time you face these challenges, anything will not kill you will make you stronger. That's what you should know. Stop running from little challenges. Stay in, build capacity. Your leaders are not giving up on you. Some your downlines are not even giving up on you. You, the upline, you are saying you are discouraged. When your downlines are not discouraged. Some of you are even choke. You are the thorns to choke your downlines to death. That's it. Be the ego first, and guess what? What do? Sort out the numbers. Talk to these people. Make these calls. Sort the numbers and look for the egos. And when you finally get the egos, what do? Grind with consistency. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be ending here. Thank you very much, champions. And with God on our side, that is the time will not permit me to take questions. And this is the end of the training. I appreciate you all. Take your big lessons from there. Check where you are lagging and fix it up. Thank you very much, champions. And we can call it a day. God bless you. I feel like the prospects are already here. Please, they can come in. Let's excuse. There are people coming in for presentations, so we can excuse them. And those on Zoom, I appreciate you. All right. You can make friends to this later and still learn more from you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.